Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. There are a lot of them. With so many of these fan games coming out every year, it is sometimes hard to keep up with everything that is coming out. I think this in itself is a problem, because it is hard to get invested in a fan game when there are just so many to play, with them being all easily accessible at any time. So that gave me an idea. I wanted to go ahead and look at all the upcoming Five Nights at Freddy's fan games that had not been released yet, and see if any of these games could maybe capture my attention and actually get me hyped for the release. So I did just that, and what I found was actually a ton of games that looked very promising based on their teaser trailers and screenshots alone. So today I present to you my top 5 most anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. And before I start, I just want to say these aren't in any particular order, so number 1 or number 5 isn't the one I'm most excited for. It's sort of just in a random order. Anyways, let's begin. First up on this list is a game called Juniors, which is created by Ramanov. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, some of you guys may have heard of this game before, as it was covered by YouTubers such as Dawko and Fusion Z Gamer, but I wanted to include it anyways because I think more people need to know about this game. The main story for the game, according to the blog post on the Game Jolt page, is as follows. After agreeing to take part in an ongoing Juniors investigation, you are greeted by a passive spirit named Fazbear, who will help you on your journey to flush out the evil that hides within the creepy old animatronic suits. However, that evil wants something other than your life. It wants Fazbear. This to me honestly sounds like a really cool concept for a fan game, having you actually work with a spirit opposed to only trying to survive from them. I also like that the game is going back to that paranormal aspect that the old Five Nights at Freddy's games had, which I thought gave the animatronics a more unsettling tone, so I'm hoping that Ramanov is able to execute it well here. There is also a synopsis listed on the page that reads, "I'm sorry, but it's gotten to the point where these slip-ups have become too frequent for us to ignore. We're going to need to close Junior's restaurant down, at least temporarily, to launch a proper investigation. We know there's something going on here, and if you care about this place, you'll let us take a look. I know you understand." This basically just gives us slightly more insight on the restaurant, informing us that it closed down now and that we will be taking the lead investigation into something dark that happened here. I'm also curious what it means by slip-ups. Could this be murders similar to Five Nights at Freddy's 1? Or maybe something completely different? I'm not sure, but so far it sounds very promising. And I have not even talked about the best part of this game in my opinion, and that is the visuals and atmosphere. Just by looking at the screenshots alone, we can see that this game is not going back to that kid-friendly approach that Security Breach took, and will take the game back to the gritty, more realistic look. The graphics are also absolutely stunning. I'm not sure what engine this game is going to be running on, but it's hands down the best Five Nights at Freddy's fan game that I've ever seen. These screenshots of the office just have a very cool vibe to it that I really like. Also, I just love this Chica clock thing that's in the office. I just think that's a really cool idea. The animatronics are also a lot more realistic now and also resemble how kind of the old Chuck E. Cheese animatronics looked, in a way that the animals depicted would be depicted a lot more accurately instead of being cartoon versions of those animals, if that makes sense. This shot of Mangle is especially terrifying to me, and also makes me wonder how this game will be tied in with the rest of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore. There are also a few trailers for this game, but I don't want to keep this video too long, so I'm gonna have to cover this another time. So if you guys want to see me cover this game in the future, maybe with an everything we know so far type video, let me know in the comments, because I could talk about this game for hours. I'm very excited for this one. Second up on our list is another game that has been covered by a few YouTubers before, and that is Chompers. Chompers is an upcoming fan game created by Ultra Knight, and this game has been in development for around a year now, and was actually almost cancelled for a little bit before making a return. The description of the game reads, "As a young kid, Ben Holcomb loved visiting Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Years went by and Ben grew older, yet the location still stood in ruins after the initial closing. Ben, now an entrepreneur, seizes the opportunity to make something his own and purchases the property. That's how Chomper's Cafe came to be. Your nightmare awaits. In Chompers, go up against Chomper the Crocodile, Honey the Bee, Woods the Beaver, and Blue the Heron, I think. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And more in this uniquely styled fan game. Taking course over one night, this fan game offers new ways to play unlike any other before it. Now, the story is interesting, taking place in the same universe as Five Nights at Freddy's and also having us play as the actual owner of Chompers, but that is actually not what catches my attention the most about this description. The thing that stood out to me the most actually was the line reading, taking course over one night, this fan game offers new ways to play unlike any other before it. This excites me because with there being so many fan games, the classic formula of surviving 5 nights that progressively get harder gets stale after having experienced it so many times. And having this game take a different approach on how it's going to do its gameplay opens up a slew of possibilities for where the developer can take the gameplay. And I honestly have no idea how he can make it work, but that just makes it more exciting to me. I hope that Ultranite is able to prove that Five Nights at Freddy's fan games do not have to stick with this formula just for the gameplay to be engaging. The graphics on this game, similar to Junior's, are just amazing. Now the game does look like it takes a more cartoonish approach similar to Security Breach, which we can see through this teaser here, where we can see a cartoony looking human, but that does not stop the graphics from really impressing me, especially being a fan-made game. There's also some really cool animation at work here within the trailer, which shows the 4 main animatronics performing, as well as the camera kind of panning around the restaurant. I really hope that we are able to see this animation work shine in the game, with being able to see them move on the cameras and stuff like that. Also, I want to point out that in the teaser, it appears that the Chompers location is the exact same layout as Five Nights at Freddy's 1, with the stage being up front in front of the party room, a kitchen, and then 2 hallways leading to the office. Maybe this could be some sort of Five Nights at Freddy's 1 reboot, but I could be wrong about this. Regardless, I think this game looks absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to see more from it. Next up on this list of Five Nights at Freddy's fan games is a game called Rat Race, which is being developed by Luminance. This game is a little lesser known than the other 2 games I previously covered, which is honestly surprising to me given how great this game actually looks. This game, similar to the other 2, also features a short blog post covering the game's story. The blog post reads, "Welcome to Rat Race. You, one of 4 lucky contestants, have been chosen to compete in a game of cat and mouse. Expect you to take on both roles. Defend yourself against an onslaught of robots sent by other competitors, whilst you send out your own army. Last man standing will be the winner. Gear up, lucky 4, and let the games begin." Now this really caught me off guard when I first read it. Compete, contestants. I was instantly overjoyed by this idea for a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. It is such an original concept for this game to take place as some sort of game show, opposed to it just being a life or death situation that we are used to with every other FNaF fan game. And my excitement for this game only grew larger as I read the gameplay section of the blog post. Rat Race is a frantic, more tactical, multiplayer Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. Your wits and quick thinking will be your best friends here as you manage offense and defense. 4 animatronics per team, 4 offices, and 4 players. With 20 plus cameras, this game is bound to keep you on your toes. Sabotage your opponent's equipment or animatronics while fighting off attempted hacks. Upgrade your character's capabilities through skill trees. Be careful with your choices. All hosted on private, secure servers with custom anti-cheat measures and cloud-based progress saving. Online leaderboards, Game Jolt integration, Discord-rich presence, and minor modding supported. After reading this, Rat Race instantly became my #1 most anticipated fan game to date. It is such a unique spin on the original Five Nights at Freddy's formula, and I honestly couldn't be more excited for it. I'm not sure if a multiplayer Five Nights at Freddy's game has been attempted in the past, but the idea sounds extremely promising, and if pulled off right, could be an amazingly fun party game to play with friends. The game also has a few teaser images and trailers to go along with it. The trailer for this game is extremely cool. It's in a sort of 80s style with it appearing as a broadcast on TV. we see this animatronic named Rodney Rat announce the beginning of the rat races. I just gotta say, I love his design so much. I think it captures how animatronics in real life actually look perfectly. And I think that Luminance nailed the animations as well. It just makes the whole thing look so realistic. We also get a few short moments of gameplay which looks very promising. We see a few shots of other animatronics that will be present before seeing a brief look at what appears to be our office, although instead of an office it's more of a kitchen area. We can also see the device which I assume we will be using to sabotage our opponents as stated in the gameplay blog. On the TV screen kind of thing, you can actually see these 4 little stickers which I think is meant to represent our 4 players. Maybe these lights will turn off once a player is eliminated. I'm not sure. It's just speculation, but I'm honestly so excited to play this with 3 other friends. Oh yeah, and one last thing I forgot to mention about this trailer is that it appears the animatronics will actually be animated during gameplay, as we see the pig animatronic slam down on the desk before the trailer cuts out. I'm hoping this wasn't just animated for the trailer and is actually incorporated in the game, because again, these animatronics just look so good. Next up is an even lesser known game than the previous one, and that is The Rat Cave, created by Chris Powell Games. Now we don't have a designated story or gameplay blog post like the previous games, but we do have a blog titled What to Expect, which reads, "You should somewhat expect a point-and-click free roam environment. You are going to move around a lot and you'll have to make sure you keep your ears and eyes open. You will carry a small 90s laptop with you around the building. You are going to use the cameras to see if there are any animatronics near your area. Instead of seeing the cameras individually, you will see every camera at once. The main reason why you are walking around the building is to go to different computer rooms to download and transfer different files to different computers for the employees that work during the day. In this game, you should also expect some actual horror with sound, imagery, and environments. You should also expect a mini-game RPG part of the game that will try to explain the story/lore. The RPG side of the game will also have a lot of secrets and collectible items that you can find that will give the game some replayability. There will also be 3D audio in the game that will make the experience more memorable. This to me sounds like a really cool concept that could pay off if executed correctly. Now we have seen point and click attempted with a few other Five Nights at Freddy's fan games before, but I think the idea of having it still take place in the pizzeria, with you basically moving from room to room, sounds like it could lead to some tense gameplay. I imagine that the fear that ensues when leaving your safe, comfortable office to roam the halls of the pizzeria, listening to every little sound while you sneak around, could match a similar amount of fear that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 had, which had you listening for the breathing at the doors. All in all, I think it's just a really cool concept, and I'm excited to see how it actually works in practice. There is also this blog post right here, which is a poster from the restaurant, so I will read you that now. In 1979, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had closed due to unfortunate reasons. However, Fazbear Entertainment wanted to stay in the entertainment business. The company desperately tried to recover by teaming up with a company called Zack Robotics, who only focuses on making animatronics at a cheap price, to make the Rat Cave in 1981. Applying for the Rat Cave restaurant, a person named Stacy Green got hired as a security guard for a shift or so for a couple of nights. During her time working at the Rat Cave, she starts to have nightmares, and because of her schizophrenia, these nightmares start to come to life during her time at the Rat Cave. It's hard for her to tell what's real or what's just her imagination. I think it could be really cool having our protagonist be someone who suffers from schizophrenia. This could make a very unsettling gameplay experience, which would have you second guessing what is an actual harm to you and what is just your imagination. It's hard to think of ways that the developer could pull this off, but if done right, I'm all for it. Also, I quickly want to mention, for being a smaller fan game, the graphics look extremely good. I'm hoping we can see a trailer of some sort for the game soon, but for now, all we have is these few teaser images that I have been showing on screen. Now this final one, I'm going to just cover quickly because I know that not everyone is going to be interested in it, but my final anticipated FNaF fan game is LEGO FNaF. Yeah, I'm not sure how long until this game gets some sort of copyright strike and taken down, either by Scott for emulating the gameplay of the other FNaF games too much, or by LEGO, but regardless, this game is just really cool to me. Being someone who grew up playing LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Indiana Jones, all those LEGO games, I find it really funny to see a LEGO version of Five Nights at Freddy's. Not to mention that it seriously looks like it could be an officially licensed game. I mean, if you just showed me these trailers or screenshots and didn't tell me it was a fan game, I would have no idea that it was not officially released by LEGO. The developer states that he's planning on releasing LEGO FNaF 1 through 3, but like I mentioned earlier, I highly doubt that this game will stay up for long, which is a shame because it does look so good. Alright guys, that has been my top 5 most anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's fan games. Let me know which one you are most excited to play down below. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, it helps me out greatly. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.